What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are checking out some of the very best and some of the worst tattoos on Reddit this month. What more could you ask for? Let's get it. Once again, welcome back. If you guys could please hit that subscribe button, we do push out brand spanking new tattoo content every week, and you don't want to miss it. All right, let's start with a rough one. This first one here says the word fear on this guy's arm, and I have to admit, I'd probably be scared to wear this tattoo as well. This thing is very poorly done. The shading around this tattoo is just, it looks like it came out of somebody's home. And if we look closer, it says face everything and rise. And it almost looks like an afterthought. Like maybe you were afraid of just having that tattoo alone, so you decided to add something else. It almost looks like you were scared to walk around with this tattoo and show it off to people. But those words really didn't help anything out. Not even a little bit. And in fact, it really makes this thing look worse. And I didn't think that was possible. But that blood is pretty scary. And I would bet that this tattooer really had no idea what they were doing. This background shading just is so poorly done, it almost looks like overspray from a graffiti stencil. And not in a good way. It almost just makes your arm look dirty. Like you've never washed this thing. The A is missing one of its legs. And what is all this red on the outside of all these letters? It just looks so sloppy and, again, almost like an afterthought. It would have been a little cleaner had they not done that. Just a little. This tattoo is labeled, "Son finally regrets his tattoo." Now, I wonder how long that took. If it wasn't immediately, get a different son. Let's see what's next. All right, now this one says, a friend of mine got this done today. The first pick what was done, and the second pick was the reference. Now, before even looking at the reference, this one definitely reminds me of my morning routine. Pretty sure I flushed that one away this morning. Oh, you need new friends. Yeah, I'm just saying, if they're making bad choices in their tattoos, they're probably making bad choices in friends. It would make me look inward and ask myself, what kind of friend am I? I don't know.
Inward?
Inward, make myself look inward, make me look inward.
We can't say the N-word.
I mean, looking at the reference, I don't really know what happened, where they got this image at. This looks nothing like any of the references. I mean, I see one scary looking character with an arm. Oh, maybe that's another character at the bottom. Maybe? I guess I could see a kid in there. Maybe the kid from The Ring. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. So if I look at the very first reference, I can see where the arm is coming from, and I still can't see a kid. I don't know. This thing looked like they just winged the hell out of it. Oh boy, I don't know if this was supposed to be a horror tattoo or what. This one's more scary than the first one. Maybe this was the fear he was talking about. We should probably save this one for our Halloween episode. Now I do see some sort of little arm on the right hand side, which leads me to believe that this is some sort of child or baby monkey. But either way, it looks like this client came in and the artist said, hey, let me try stipple work for the first time. Or hey, let me try tattooing for the first time. I really hope this person looked at their portfolio before getting this tattoo. Or maybe they did and they wanted a shitty tattoo, I don't know. This one is just rough. I really don't know what the artist was thinking here, because it's not even executed well. It looks like an execution. Or, as I said before, a nice steaming pile of shit. But let's check out something decent this time. This first one is clearly a Barbie tattoo that says, y'all ever think about dying? I mean, sometimes. This just got depressing. Clearly this was on an emo kid.
Have you saw this movie?
No. I heard it was good. I used to burn my sister's Barbies when I was a kid. But I would hang them upside down in the attic, take them outside, burn them with gasoline. I was a very dark individual. However, the tattoo itself really isn't that well done. These letters are super janky, and the pink that's in the dyeing just is really full of holidays. And the point of that dagger, I don't know what happened. Now, it could be that it's wrapped around the leg, but that thing does have a hell of a bend. But this definitely isn't the worst tattoo I've seen, and it's a really neat design. I just think it could use a little bit of loving, like I used to do to my sister's Barbies. I mean, none of the colors are really that saturated, and again, those lines and the letters are just all over the place. There are a couple little design flaws, like how the piece of that heart meets up with the dagger. If those words up top were a bit smaller, you could have some room to move up that dyeing and it would look a lot cleaner. There are a lot of glaring issues, and I think this thing could have been designed better from the start just so it didn't look slapped together. Again, it's really not a bad tattoo, it's just not something that I would consider to be the top this month. I wonder what else we've got. All right, now this one's pretty funny. The person sent in the reference of this terrible drawing of a jackalope, and I'm very curious to see what they ended up with. All right, so what they drew is much better than the client's design, thankfully. I know some tattooers out there probably would have tattooed that just the way it is, but luckily they went to an actual tattooer and they designed something beautiful. Something I like about this design is the haze that's coming out of the jacalope's eye and working its way around the entire body. And I love those mushrooms at the bottom. I think they're very well designed. Let's check out how the tattoo turned out. All right, now I'm really not a fan of the way that this thing turned out. I think they kind of biffed this one. I see a lot of things wrong with this tattoo. The choice of colors just really don't work that well together. I mean, sometimes blue and yellow do work well, but here it just looks really messy. And it kind of looks like this jackalope has some sort of wavy hairstyle going on. I think it's supposed to be part of the antler, just not sure.
Because tonight will be the night that I will fall for you.
And I'm really not a fan of the fur that this jackalope has. Even the design had a lot better flow when it came to that fur. It just felt more natural. Because when you look at the fur on the design, all these little hairs are going the same direction, just giving a nice shape to that jackalope's leg. But when we look over at the tattoo, all those lines are just going different ways. Again, I don't really know what happened. And what is dripping out of its mouth? This one definitely looks like it turned into an acid trip. The white highlights in the circles, just don't know why they're there, doing absolutely nothing, just like my dad.
He's the white highlight in your life.
Speaking of white highlights, I just noticed this thing has whiskers. I bet you didn't see it either. I just don't know how it went from this drawing, which looks great, to this tattoo. Why is this on the top this month? Reddit, you gotta do better. Real quick, let's talk about the sponsor of this channel, Mad Rabbit. They are an amazing aftercare company that has everything you need to keep your tattoos looking fresh forever. So head on over to madrabbit.com and make sure to use code PONY20 to save 20% off of your entire order. All right, let's get back to it. All right, this next one's dope. I like this one a lot. Finally. I think this should have been #1 this month because this thing is solid and that black is saturated as I love these little millipedes on the side of this tattoo. It just really gives it some nice flow. And I just love how much room this entire tattoo takes up. And boy, that belly button is black. This makes me want to put my finger in there. This is a tattoo that shows some really good lines and line weight. You've got a nice thick border on the outside of this tattoo and on the millipede, and then you've got these really thin lines on the inside of the dragonfly and these leaves. That's really what's giving it some nice dynamics and readability. The artist's ability to make this thing so symmetrical just makes it really hard to tell if and where they made any mistakes, because this thing is clean. And the stomach is a very difficult spot to tattoo, so seeing these lines that clean is just very impressive. This is a tattoo I'd be super proud to wear and show off. So great work to the artist and the client for hanging in there. Let's see what's next. All right, this next one is, oh Lord. Hold on, kids. If I saw this person in real life, I'd be terrified. That is a lot of dermals. And quite frankly, this looks like the sloth from the other one we saw, except somehow scarier. I want to know what this person was thinking. Like, let's just put a bunch of googly eyes all over my back. I think she would have been fine with that one up in that tribal tattoo and then call it a day. Somebody clearly had a deal on dermals that day. Howdy y'all, I'm Dermal Dan. Come on down to the Dermal Barn where you buy 2 dermals, get 30 free. Stick 'em, lick 'em, kick 'em out. Yeehaw! Sorry about that. Let's talk about the tattoos, because they're not that much better. These things look like they were done in a barn. Howdy y'all, it's me, Timmy Tattoos, down here at the Tat Shed. Too much?
Yeah, dude, enough.
All right.
Seriously.
She definitely put these dermals in here to take away from these horrible tattoos. I wish the sloth were darker than that tribal tattoo, because that thing is just ugly. That tribal tattoo almost looks like an insane clown posse face. I mean, I'm no juggalo, but we going chicken hunting. This video is sponsored by Fago. It looks like the flower on the left was a cover-up because I can see some kind of color coming through. My guess, she probably covered up the hatchet man. I don't want to be a juggalo no mo.
Let me out, fam.
Look, there's nothing more I can say about these tattoos. I know we keep harping on those dermals, but how can you not? Let's check out something a bit nicer. Hopefully. All right, now here we have one that looks like some sort of teeth wrapping around the shoulder, and this does look like a great tattoo. However, that black looks very unrealistic. It seems as though this photo was probably taken in a dark room with a heavy CPL and the brightness turned down. to really eliminate that shoulder. But let's put all that aside and just talk about the work here. I am a fan of the way that this is tattooed because it has that sketchy drawn look, but I'm very curious as to what this is covering up because that is a huge area of black. And judging by this bra tattoo on his arm, he's definitely prone to making bad choices. It's like he went to the artist and had him do this crazy, intricate, monster-looking mouth, and then at the very end of the session, he's like, hey, can you also add bruh over here while we're at it? Just like a last-minute decision, it seems to me. That's why it makes me feel like there may be something underneath all that black that he's covering up, because otherwise they could have put something really cool in that abyss, like kittens. And I've talked about desaturating photos before, how it kind of just hides mistakes rather easy, and if we look at this second photo, the only thing that's in focus is the front, the rest of it's kind of blurred out, so not only is it desaturated, but it's also blurry, which makes me feel like it's hiding something. That being said, I do think it's a really cool tattoo, it's original, and it's scary, bruh. Let's see what we've got next. All right, this next tattoo we have oh boy. So the story behind this is that the 18-year-old woman wanted to get the second picture tattooed on her, but her usual artist no longer worked there. But the shop owner said he could do it, no problem, and this hideousness is what she left with. There's no way she got this out of a tattoo shop. I mean, if this person works in a shop, we gotta shut them down. To me, I would have guessed that this thing came out of an apartment, 100%, because how is this person still in business? And if we look at the reference photo, I mean, I can see where they were going with it. I see the flowers, I see the little bar that's coming down the middle, and I see the dots, but how did this happen? Where did the corn come from? This one's leaving me speechless. What the hell? I would have loved to see the stencil on this tattoo, because there's no way it looked like that design. It almost looked like the artist was like, I can freestyle this, no problem. This is really why you gotta check out artist portfolios, because if I were to see this in a portfolio, I would run for the hills. This one might be the worst one I've seen all year. And trust me, I've seen a lot of bad tattoos. I bet Ryan could do better than this.
I know I could. I know I could.
For all of my older viewers, this one really reminds me of a highlights magazine, where you have to find all the hidden images. I see here we've got a piece of wheat along with that corn. Maybe a cat, a fishing hook. Oh, and a little smiley face and a crescent moon. How cute. That definitely looks like a cat scratch. How the f do you get a tattoo this bad? I mean, I want to guess that maybe her kid did this tattoo. Her 3-year-old child, because I genuinely am lost at how any kind of artist would do this to somebody. This caption also mentions that the girl was there by herself and she was too scared to say stop. So if you are ever in a situation where you're getting a tattoo that looks like this, immediately say stop and walk out, because it's only going to get worse from here. And now she's gonna have to figure out some way to cover this up or fix it, or even get it lasered, which is gonna hurt even more than this did, maybe. Because I don't really know how bad this hurt. I mean, it looks like it hurt like hell. Now I love reading through the comments because you find gold like this. Somebody actually posted a picture of the tattoo shop, and I'm not 100% sure if it's legit or not, but again, reading through those comments, it appears to be so. When did she go to the dermal barn? And if you're walking into a tattoo shop that looks like this, well, you get what you ask for. And as I continue reading through those comments, somebody actually posted up the cover-up that she ended up getting, which looks better. It's much better than what she was walking around with before, that's for sure. Now, at least with this new fresh tattoo, I can definitely tell that that's out of a tattoo shop. I mean, again, it's not the greatest, but it is heaps better than what we saw before. Now you got lucky, because I don't know what I would have covered that up with. Either way, you really should be researching your artist and checking out their portfolios, otherwise you could end up just like this. It's up to you to do your research, because there are so many artists out here just trying to make a quick buck. And in this day and age, it's really not hard to find somebody capable of doing decent work in any neighborhood. But that's going to be it for this episode, guys. I really hope you enjoyed yourselves. I know I did. I really thought we would find some better ones this week. I mean, we had one solid tattoo, but other than that, the rest were kind of car crashes. But there's always next time. See you guys next week. I'll punch a baby right now.